Welcome to another edition of In the Weeds with Ikard and Lehman, presented by River Wind Casino. Riverwind is Oklahoma City's premier casino experience, and there are so many reasons why Riverwind is consistently voted OKC's number one casino. But it all starts with their amazing variety of gaming thrills and excitement. Riverwind's beautiful, award-winning environment plays host to more than 2,800 of the latest electronic games, with a huge selection of table games, including blackjack match roulette, and Teddy's favorite, craps. No matter what your game, Riverwind has it in spades and hearts. And to learn more about their gaming promotions and entertainment options, all you got to do is visit riverwind.com. Riverwind Casino, good times, great rewards. Time to look at a couple of plays from Tulane, Ted.
I'm excited about it. Let's see what we got this week.
Let's take a look. Oh, as always, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Super thanks if you really like this content down there somewhere. You know the drill by now. We're going to take a look at Jackson Arnold's nearly 50-yard run on GT counter read. So let's just go through the schematics of the play real quick. So Tulane is in odd spacing. So when you look at that, that means this guy is actually head up on the center. This guy is head up on the tackle. And we've got another defensive end that's head up over on the other side as well. And then we've got an outside linebacker type over here. So when you look at it, this structure, that makes this your will linebacker, this your Mike, and this is considered, let's call him nickel, right? Now, in this particular picture, you're going to see them rotating the nickel back to get to a three safety look. So, not exactly the defensive call you're looking for when someone's running counter at you, by the way.
Right.
So, the way that it works with this defensive structure when you're running this GT counter play is you're going to get what a lot of people call a tray block between the tight end and the tackle, and that's going to go all the way back to that will linebacker. Because when you're running GT counter, you want to leave two for the pullers. So you're leaving this Mike, that's one. This typically would be two. He's going to drop out. So two, the second puller actually is just going to pick up whoever kind of shows up in this space here. But you've got the tray block going back to the will backer. You've got this right guard coming down on the nose. The center is going to collision the nose and then get flat on the block back to that other defensive end. Then, of course, you're going to have your guard pull around. He's your first puller. And then your tackle will pull around as your second puller. On top of all of that, you've got your quarterback reading the backside end. And it's not overly complicated. In this look, if the end closes hard, it's a keep read. And you see what you can get as the quarterback. So let's go ahead and just take a look and watch it unfold. And this is it's a great read by Jackson Arnold. It's a simple read, but that doesn't mean it's not good. Defensive end is closing. Defensive end is crashing. Carry out your fake. Take the football. Pretty simple. Now you see the blocking scheme unfold with the tray block. Nice tray block there between Tarquin and Roberts. Roberts does a really nice job. This is something that you see good players do. A lot of times people think when you're running counter, you always, or any gap scheme, you gotta pin them in, right? You gotta pin everything in. Well, yeah, in a perfect world, sure, you cave everything down and you run off it. But watch how Jake Roberts traps it out. He plays over the top and he traps it out. Look at how big the hole is as a result of him having the awareness, okay, I'm coming off my double team, I trap it out. I create space. You're not always going to pin everything in and cave everything down in gap schemes. They play over the top, you trap it out. That's pretty good. That's pretty dang good from Roberts. Good from Tarquin on the down block. You see him sustaining for quite
Yep.
some time. Bates gets enough of the piece of the defensive end. You'd love to see him get two hands on him, but it looks like he's kind of getting grabbed by that nose guard as Wee Woo was coming down on him. That just, it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to get the flipper on him in the interior, but you get both pullers around. If you hand it, also probably a pretty good play. I mean, it looks
Yep.
like Taylor Tatum's got some space, but the key block on this play, you've got so much going on. You've got the motion bringing Deion Burks across. You've got the guard and tackle pulling. You've got Jackson Arnold reading it out. And it's something we talk about all the time. How do good runs become great runs? And the answer is these fast guys out here. Nothing will spring a run quite like good wide receiver blocking. That's where 10-yard runs become 50-yard runs. And that's exactly the case here. And I love seeing it. And it's not the most complicated thing in the world, but this is a true freshman out there getting really his first action. And he does this simple thing is, and this is, they're playing cover two over there. So that corner is in the run fit. He's supposed to come and fit that up. And all he does is, hey, just walls him off. Doesn't do anything stupid. Doesn't try to kill him, Ted. Just wall him off. That's it.
Yep.
And then
You,
this safety, that half field safety back there gets a little lost back here. And Jackson Arnold's out, man. Boom.
yep. Yeah. Typically the rule of thumb for a backside safety away from the play is you're flat before you're ever downhill, and he comes downhill right away, and it gets back across him.
I,
The only
I
thing that I would say is on that wide receiver, that little stock block, like you can see where the quarterback is. You have to be ready for him to turn and bounce back out and try and
yep.
get a little bit more of him right there.
Well, that's where you got to know where you can get beat, right? He's not going to make the play running up the field.
Right.
So you want to be strong with that left hand up on his right shoulder pad. Now you want to be smart with it. You don't want to hold him, especially out there on the edge like that when you're at the point of attack. But yeah, you could probably, slow that pursuit down even a little bit. I love right about here is when that safety realizes, because I think he's affected by the motion. I think he
Oh
may
yeah.
think that Tatum has the ball. And right about there is where he goes, oh no. And my favorite part of this entire clip is as the safety is realizing it, so is this coach. He look at him pointing. Hey, quarterback's got the ball.
Yep.
Quarterback's got the ball. We're not
Right
tackling
here,
the
guys.
quarterback. There's no one there for him. He's got the ball. This is my favorite part of this entire clip is this guy right here pointing, going, quarterback's got it.
Yep. Yeah, that safety's like, oh no, I bit too hard on the play action, and then it's out on the backside of him. Now, I'll tell you one thing that if I'm really going to scrutinize and I'm really going to nitpick,
Ooh,
and you
I'm
go
here for
back,
that.
watch Zion Reagan's. He's over here in the slot. Or I guess he's the outside receiver right now. He's going
Mm,
up, stalk block,
yep.
doing what he has to. Okay, the quarterback's got it. Let me see the wheels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's
We,
get on our horse and show that we are a fast football team and get down there. If you run as hard as you can, you might get in position where Jackson Arnold sees you and you're in a trail. You're not in front of that safety, but Jackson can shut it down. That safety has to redirect, and maybe you get a piece of him and he can cut back. Or what if Jackson Arnold tries to cut back and they punch the ball out? and the ball's rolling around on the ground, and we're back here jogging. Like
Right.
I,
No, and that's a young player these last couple games getting his most significant action. And we've heard a lot about the speed. I'm with you, man. Let's see it.
let's see it. Let's
And
see
that
it.
is a
That's
this
how
is
you get on
another
the field more.
example. This is another example of knowing the entire picture as a player. There is when you know that this is the play, and this, how about this? This is actually a call it run. There's no RPO. There's no wide receivers running routes. These guys are blocking because they know they're handing it off. We are giving it now. It's a read run, but it is everyone on the field knows that they're running the football for
Mhm.
Oklahoma. And if you're Reagan's, it's if he wants to jump outside, there's no reason to jump out there with him. The ball's coming inside of you. You should know the concept.
Mhm.
And so you should know that if I'm going to get beat, I'm going to make him run up the field past my right shoulder. I'm not going to let him beat me over my left shoulder and inside where I know the ball is going. It's
Mhm.
just it comes back to what we talked about in the recap episode, attention to detail. It's an
Yep,
attention to detail thing. You got to know the whole picture as a player.
that's right. And I'm telling you, like that's what scouts are looking for. Look at that. 76. Is that Sexton coming out of the stack?
Yeah,
Sexton's lighting it up right now.
look at the speed on Sexton. Look at him go.
Mhm. Turn up field, a little bit of
Ah,
lift. Not nearly as good. Look at Jackson. Look at the lift by LJA ripping down the sideline.
do you think right about there he's like, I don't think I'm outrunning him.
Uh-uh.
Oh, maybe I could. Oh no. Let's do the
Yeah,
smart thing. Let's step out of bounds. I have zero problem with him stepping out of bounds there.
100%. I agree.
It's clear. He's going to be a big piece of this running game. He's going to take some hits this year.
Hmm.
Those things add up. And I got no problem right there in that moment saying, okay, oh, we got oh man, the swaggy first down symbol with the left flip
Look at the
right in the
what do you think about
breadbasket.
the left hand, the flip, the little Utah pass,
Yeah,
shovel pass?
some swag in that little exchange right in the breadbasket for the official. Catches it on the run, tucks it.
Nice.
Here's a great look of this being about just the easiest read run concept in the world. I mean, he's got a perfect look at it. He's even got his eyes on five, so it's clear. Hey, he knows that guy's coming and run support. Okay, what can I do? Oh, Kearney's got him. Let's go. We're off to we're off to the races. How do you feel about this form? That
Pretty good.
you're our resident sprint technique expert. So what do you think?
Check it out. We got a little bit of a duck foot that hits on the out. Do his feet turn out when he's hitting?
I don't know.
No, not bad. Looks pretty
No.
good. I like it. No
Takes
heel
it.
strike in there, no negative energy. Good lift, good arm pump. It's crazy how much harder it is to run with the ball in your hand than it is to have two free hands. It's like an anchor slowing you down.
And that is running technique with Ted. All right, let's
Good
move on
play.
to our defensive snap we're looking at from the Tulane game. But first,
Oh, you tailgaters, listen up. We are now officially in the premium conference of college football, and you expect a premium product on the field and on the grill. That's why you need Didier Ranch's steak burgers to take your tailgate to the next level. Proudly raised in Oklahoma for over 120 years, premium beef this good is hard to come by. Go to DidierRanch.com. That's DIDIER ranch.com. Use promo code Oklahoma15 for 15% off your order. Didier Ranch, tradition, plays better, and tastes better.
we've got we're gonna take a look at one of our Mason Thomas's sacks. He had a lot of them, but this is this is the situation. Tulane's down two scores. There's only 6 minutes left to go in the football game. It's pretty much a Yeah, would you have loved to be up by more points? Sure. But for a defensive lineman, this is the dream scenario, Ted.
Yeah.
You know they got to throw. Let's go rush the passer.
Yeah. And if you watch this game, we had a chance to blow it open and get Tulane out of their game plan, and we didn't until late. So a lot of the game, they're still running the football, they're throwing the short passes, 6, 7, 8 man protections. You don't get a whole lot of free one-on-ones to get to the quarterback. But now they're trying to get 5 guys out. So when you got a 4 man rush, they're just going to be protecting it with the O-line. This is your chance to get some one-on-ones. And I like this call, just a standard call for us. 1st and 10. We're in quarter, half. Quarters to the field, half field with the rolled up corner into the boundary. And what's really good about this, and here's what's different than the NFL. In the NFL, most people would be, you get a lot less of this and a lot more of just standard cover two. So look at that field corner. He's a deep quarters player. So basically, we're giving up that throw. See how long of a throw that is from this opposite hash. We're gonna give them that flat. Now we have someone accounting for it, but it's a soft edge. Like if you want to throw that, we've got time because the ball's got to travel so far to rally up and tackle. And it's also really good because you can call this to the field. And I don't know how they do this with the front here, but you can see. I think that's Woody Washington playing the cheetah position. And whenever you got quarters over the top, you go back, it looks a lot like you're bringing a field angle blitz. See where that safety is over the top of that coverage? You're able to disguise that really well. So you can see he's getting out underneath number 1. He's holding the flat. The safeties are taking the vertical over there, or I guess the corner and the safety have the vertical to the field. You see the Mike backer, he has to open to number 3. And right here, they're running a deep dig concept. That number 1, he's in a good position right here. You want to be inside it, able to break out. He needs to fit right on that hook route that's coming in pretty good position there. He's got eyes on the quarterback. You're half field on the other side. So you got a half field safety over the top. Des Malone is the corner. He's the hard flat player. It's easy work for Stutzman. You're just the backside hook player. You just stay right on that hash. You got help on underneath on any in breaking route out there. You don't need to chase anything out. You got a hard corner out there. You do not need to widen out at all. They're trying to get you to widen out so they can get that little dig in on the inside of you and split the defense. So do not take the bait. You want to stay right there on the hash.
Let's, and I think this is a great picture because, you talk about the defense's zone coverage and their drops and all of these things quite a bit on the podcast. And I think some people know what we're talking about and some people don't. So in this concept, coverage wise, this is the quarters side over here.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got two defensive backs that are responsible for their quarter of the field, right? You've got, let's call it this quarter and then this quarter, right? Mm-hmm. In the concept you pointed out, it's called quarter, half. And you can't see RSJ, but he's over here. He is the deep. He's got this half of the field. He's the deep half field safety over here. Then Woody Washington, he's responsible for the flat over here. He's the flat player. I'd say the same as this can be said about Des Malone here down to the boundary, right? He's the flat player.
Correct.
And then these are the details that you're always bringing up when it comes to the inside backers zone drops. You'd like to see Kobe McKenzie a little more this way to take away that throw.
Yep. Whenever you run it from the beginning, so he needs to wall number 3. He doesn't need to carry him because there's no threat of 3 guys vertical because you already have a declared flat. So he does not need to carry that new number 3 wide receiver, which is the tight end ripping up the field. So I don't need to carry him. I'm going to push right through him to look who becomes the new number 3 is that guy running that hookup route right there. And I want to push and get underneath that. So I need to be wide. And I'm looking back at the quarterback and at the route as I come through. And you want to be able to see the ball thrown and break on it, but you also, that's you. You have to get there and get under that. Now, if I'm nitpicking, if you go back to the very beginning, you got Woody Washington's the flat player. Well, as he releases, he's drawn to the flat right now. He needs to jack that number 2 or that new number 3 wide receiver. Take some speed off of him. Think about if you're Billy Bowman, you're back there at depth, and this guy's got a full head of steam. He's running right at you. If you want to reroute or take speed off of that guy to help Billy out a bunch, you don't need anything. You don't need to go jump that guy. You've got time, so jack that wide receiver, take some speed off of him, bubble him out, and put everything right there in a space that's much tighter and easier to cover for your deep guys.
Doesn't have a ton of game
Yeah.
experience at the cheetah spot, right? Played a lot of corner,
Yep. I
but
I just say I loved this as a will linebacker because you can show blitz off the edge, kind of like he's doing, and then on the snap, those guys don't see you, and you can come and decleat them on your way to the flat.
can you
Now,
do that anymore?
yeah,
Would you be flagged?
not in college.
Are you sure?
Yeah, in the NFL, 5 yards. There's there's no illegal contact in college.
We've broken down all of the coverage stuff and haven't even mentioned the fact that our Mason Thomas just completely runs,
Yep.
gets the
The
hands of
most
the right tackle. This
Yeah.
is this is what big time rushers can do. This is what separates a lot of people right here is this ability to run the hoop and bend back up field like that.
Now, whenever you run it back to the beginning, look at the get off. You see, like whenever you had it, right? He is the first one out of his stance and he's up the field. And it's hard to see on this because it's zoomed out, but you could see that tackle like bend at the waist forward. That's whenever you could see our Mason, he slaps the hand down. And whenever he misses with that hand, you see him fold. And at that point, it's over and he can't recover. And you could see that last arm to keep him from, because he's going to try and regroup and recover. And he gets that arm up and rips and is able to finish. And it's great. And I really like Ethan Downs. Gets up the field, got to move. He's not going to get there, so he shuts down. He doesn't just keep running. That's the quarterback. You hear me talk about it all the time. Level rush. He stays right there on the level of the quarterback and shuts down that escape hole. If he was going to pull it and escape to that side, there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, nice interior push. And,
We
and
get a
this
little jumbled
is
on the inside. Now, I'll tell you one thing that I would really like to see, and this is great. Our Mason Thomas gets a sack here, but in this formation, when it starts off, unless something happens, Gabe, almost 100% of the time, that center is going to the field. Okay? Almost always he's going to the field. So what that tells me is we got a really good opportunity for a two-man game on the backside with our Mason Thomas. And is that Grayson Holton?
yeah.
Really good chance to run a two-man game because you know that center's not going to be there to help.
I
That's something to look for in
so
those guys.
so just so looking at like the offensive line protection, and we bring up like guys have to win their one-on-ones when we're talking about OU's defensive line. So what Teddy is pointing out, so Kobe McKenzie's the Mike backer right here. So typically now you can be a jet protection team where everything is 4 down and you're working to the will backer, but typically in a situation like this, you're 3-by-1, trips is to the field, you're going to be a Mike protection team, meaning these three, so center, left guard, and left tackle, these three are going to be in what a lot of people would call the slide, or a lot of people call it the wall. And these three are responsible for 1, 2, and then this guy can be 3 if he comes, or this guy can be 3 if he comes. Now, if all 4 come, you can only block 3. 4th guy's on the quarterback. That's the quarterback guy. You got to beat him with the football. But so that's what they're doing. They've got their wall or slide going this way, meaning the right guard and right tackle, they are one-on-one. You see the running back, he's checking the will linebacker, and if the will doesn't come, he's releasing. So those guys, what I bring all that up to say, if you are Grayson Halton and R. Mason Thomas in this look, it is likely that you know that you're about to get a one-on-one. And if I was Grayson Halton or R. Mason Thomas, I wouldn't want to call a game. I'd want to go rush. I personally.
Mhm.
Now you can call games and they can be extremely effective. There's no doubt about it. But in this situation, those are
Especially
your
when
two
he's
purest
been
pass rushers.
right, and he's been beating that tackle all day long.
Right.
And had a really good opportunity to be able to get all the way through. So, yeah, it's just something to look for. Like that's whenever you know and you get to some better offensive lines, you'll get to one where you typically out of that you'll see R. Mason Thomas up the field, Grayson Holton into that gap, working to that tackle's hip. And then as R. Mason Thomas comes back, the guard redirects and you're able to ricochet on the inside. Pretty good game there that whenever you get to some better offensive lines and it's harder to win those one-on-ones, those guys, and some teams will give those guys the autonomy to call it on their own if they want it in this situation.
Who do we think he's pointing at? He's pointing at a
Looks
couple people.
looks like he's getting the whole defense over there. He's just going all across.
You. You think it's Chavis? It's probably
And
Chavis.
maybe was it he's talking about he and Trace Ford have a little celebration that they're always doing. I wonder if that's who he's looking for.
I Yeah, I mean, I suppose we could just ask, hey, who were you pointing at? There were multiple points though.
Yeah.
I love the celebrations. He goes with the left hand. Someone gets the left hand, and then someone else
You
gets the right.
and you, all of you. What a day, dude. I am so happy that he's healthy. The get off, I mean, he was winning all day long. He just, you know, it was hard to get there. They're trying to get the ball out of the quarterback's hand all day long, but now they got to try and go downfield a little bit more. Had some good opportunities, and he was winning. And you get a couple of those, and you got a guy that wins on the regular. Okay, well, we got to start changing the way we're going to call protection and start giving some help. Start keeping guys in, making it difficult to get five out. So that's kind of, we talked about it. That's like the final frontier of this defense. If we can have a guy that does that on the regular, we're going to be real good.
No doubt about it. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you really like this, go ahead and hit us up with the super thanks. And we'll see you next time right here on In the Weeds.